We pulled an upset, folks. What a span of 3 days has changed this team. Spartans are coming up roses. It's snowing outside. When does baseball start?
Have the nerve to say what's on my mind. It's time to listen. It's time to learn. It's time for All Andy Alfred. Starting now on FalconRadio.org WFAL.
Good morning, Bowling Green, Ohio! Oh, I love you guys, and welcome in to this final edition on the radio side of All Andy Alfred right here on FalconRadio.org WFAL. Hi again, everybody. This is Andy Alfred as you are listening to us live on the air in the beautiful West Hall Studios on the campus of Bowling Green State University, as this is All Andy Alfred, a production of the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization. As you're listening to us on so many different platforms, FalconRadio.org, WFAL, welcome in. We also are on BGRSO.org. We're also on the TuneIn Radio app, also showing a little bit on the Radio Flag app as well, too. iTunes under the College Radio tab as well, too. And if you're a Time Warner Cable subscriber in Wood County, Channel 21 as well, too. You can talk to me or call me right now. The phone lines are open. It is 419-372-9325. That's 419-372-9325. Or tweet the show. It is at All Andy Alfred. It is at All Andy Alfred. And what a game Friday night with the Falcons last Friday night as they took on Northern Illinois in Detroit, Michigan. Very interesting matchup, to say the least, for the Falcons, as they made a big statement as the Falcons go into Ford Field and pick up a big victory. And some of the reaction for this game, the Falcons they controlled Lynch. They controlled Lynch from the start. And that's what you needed to do. And, Green having a breakout game on the running back side of things. Also, you had a great game for Matt Johnson, to say the least. Too. A couple iffy plays on Sean Joplin, to say the least. He was a little injury prone throughout the game, but Sean Joplin had a good game as well too. The Falcon defense stood their ground, stood up to Jordan Lynch, and they had a little bit of a hiccup running up the gut, but they proved and they won the game. They beat Northern Illinois 43-27. It was a great game. I was in attendance. Bowling Green picking up the victory. I felt confident with this club. I feel confident with this club. I haven't felt confident with this club in all my career here at Bowling Green. But this year, this club is strong. They're strong. They're well built. They're ready for a run. And then Monday happened. If you're not aware of this, I know a lot of people were informed of this on Tuesday during classes. Dave Clawson is now the head coach of Wake Forest. I am just when I heard that on Monday night, my heart and my stomach dropped. His record here at Bowling Green, his record is 32-31. He's one game above 500, and yet you still. It just bothered me. It really bothered me. 47-27, like I said, they were a victory. Looking at some of the stats. Well, let me get some of the stats before I get into my Clawson, or Clueless, I call him now. Johnson, 393 yards, 5 TD passes. Jordan Lynch, 26 carries for 126 yards and 2 TDs for the Huskies. And the funny thing is, Bowling Green, they're 10-3, 7-1 in the MAC. And I'll get into what I have to say about the bowl games here in a second. But, Dave Clawson, Bowling Green picking up the victory over Northern Illinois. They get the win. They're going to go on to a bowl game. That's perfectly fine. But Clawson leaving. He leaves at a wrong time. I think it's a wrong decision for him to leave. It was a wrong decision for him to leave because you look at it, Dave Clawson seems like a natural fit for Wake Forest. But, the Demon Deacons need a tweak. They're in rebuilding mode. And I don't think Clawson's the choice. I don't think it's going to be a good choice at all. I think it would be Clawson should still be with the Falcons. He should have stayed with the Falcons through the bowl game. After the bowl game, then probably telling his team and telling Kingston, basically, I'm gonna take the job at Wake Forest. You need to go hire somebody, and that would have been fine. But no, he took it from his high point of his career, winning the game against a 14th ranked team in the country, and putting his name on the map, and then doing that. That really irked me a lot. And I don't think Clawson is a right fit for Wake Forest. Now you have your lineman coach coaching our Falcons into this bowl game against Pitt in the Little Caesars Pizza Bowl. You got to be kidding me. I am upset by this. I am really upset by this, and I want your opinion about it. 419-372-9325. 419-372-WFAL. Because Clawson, or Clueless, doesn't know what this football team needs to a lot of the students, a lot of this community as well, too. We're the only team in the Northwest Ohio area, including the team that's up north. They did not get a bowl game. We're the only team in the Northwest Ohio area that got a chance to go to a bowl game. Come on. Gotta give me a break. And here's another thing too. Saturday. The whole college football span of Friday and Saturday for me was perfect. Did I not call it on this program last week that Ohio State's ride would end? And it ended on a 4th and 1 when Michigan State stopped them. As Michigan State proves again that they are the powerhouse in the Big Ten as they win 34-24. Cook, 340 yards, 3 TDs, and 1 INT. Miller had 21 carries for 142 yards for 2 TDs for Ohio State. Murphy had 2 receptions for 84 yards for a touchdown. Looking at that game, it was a good game. Braxton Miller went 8 for 21 with 101 yards. But Cook was a lot better. 24-40, 304. 3 TD passes, to say the least. And looking at some of the rushing letters, Braxton Miller had most of the carries. He's had 21 carries for 142 yards. And Langford, 24 carries for Michigan State, 128 yards, and he had the longest gain for a 34. But, again, it proves that Michigan State was a better club on the defensive end when you're holding Braxton Miller to 101 yards passing and 142 yards rushing. Says a lot about that defense and a lot that D'Antonio's got a really good club up there in East Lansing. Now, I have to say this, too. For Ohio State fans, it's a lose-lose. You're playing Clemson in an Orange Bowl game that, right now, for me, it's not a good setup for Ohio State. It really isn't. Clemson, a very good, high-motor, high-power offense, going up against a defense that, didn't show that much to me on Sunday night, and it just bothered me, to say the least, of what this team needs to do, especially going forward against a team such as Clemson. It's just interesting. How is this going to work? How is this going to work out for Ohio State? We'll get into that. We'll dive in a little bit more into that. Of course, the other games, Florida State winning. The Bulls are out. And I'll make my prediction right now. Let's take a look at some of the bowl games really quickly. Let's look at the key ones that matter the most to the MAC and the Big Ten. Buffalo is in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. They'll take on San Diego State. Got to give it to Buffalo. Buffalo is a very good club. After what I saw against them, against us, and against Toledo, I think San Diego State's got a little bit of a test in front of them, to say the least. The Beef O'Brady Bowl, you give it to Ohio. Did we not just blow them out of the water at Deutsch Perry Stadium, ladies and gentlemen? We blew them out of the water. Yet they get a bowl game. And Toledo doesn't? You got to be kidding me. They'll play Eastern Carolina. I give that to Eastern Carolina. No doubt in my mind. Little Caesars Bowl, it's us. Bowling Green Falcons taking on the Pitt Panthers. December 26th, the day after Christmas at 6 p.m. at Ford Field. I got to give the favor to us. Pitt does not look good. Their only key big victory this year has been against Notre Dame when Notre Dame was highly ranked. And I think that Notre Dame's a really good club, but I don't think that's their signature win for the season. Bowling Green gets the win, I think, in this Little Caesars Pizza Bowl. The Poinsettia Bowl in San Diego. It's Utah State taking on NIU. I got to give the favor to NIU. Jordan Lynch, very good club, very good player, to say the least. Big Ten, the Texas Bowl, Syracuse at Minnesota. I got to give it that to Syracuse and the Fighting Orangemen, of course. The New Era Pinstripe Bowl, Rutgers, who is going to be in the Big Ten next season. They'll take on Notre Dame at Yankee Stadium. That game at noon on the 28th. Very good, interesting matchup, to say the least. I'm going to have to pick the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame there. Of course, you have Michigan taking on Kansas State in the B-Dubs Bowl. That is on the 28th. That's a 10:15 start time on that one. Give the favor to Michigan on that one. Kansas State's really not that good of a club. After the performance I saw against West Virginia, I don't think they're really that good of a club, to say the least. And I also have to make a prediction here as well too we get to New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. New Year's Day, the Big Ten is featured all day. At noon, it's Nebraska at Georgia. Look out for the Bulldogs. Georgia, a really good club. Wisconsin at South Carolina. Got to give it to Gamecocks. Outback Bowl. LSU would be the hosting team taking on Iowa in Tampa. LSU. Rose Bowl. Stanford against Michigan State. Now this one I've been debating about all week, and I have to give it to Sparty, because Michigan State's a really good club. After what I saw last week, they're a very, very interesting club and a very good club, to say the least. Orange Bowl on the 3rd. Clemson, Ohio State. Like I said, I'm picking Clemson. I'm sorry, Buckeye Nation. I know you hate me, but I have to pick Clemson. It's a win. It's a win for Clemson because that defense is so bad. And then Go Daddy Bowl. Arkansas State taking on Ball State. I got to give the favor to Ball State. Arkansas State not having that solid win yet this season. The Razorbacks not that good out of the Sun Belt Conference. And then we get to the national championship between Florida State and Auburn. James Winston's going to win the Heisman. It's just plain and simple. Heisman winner, James Winston, will win the Heisman. And Florida State will prevail over Auburn. I don't know how big or how much it's going to be, but they're going to win. That's my bowl, college football and college bowl. When we get back, talk a little bit about the NFL and as well as talking a little bit about college basketball. So stay with us. You're listening to Andy Alfred, the production of the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization right here on FalconRadio.org. WFAL. Hold on!
A single ember from a wildfire can travel over a mile. You can't control where it lands, only what happens before it does. Simple steps to adapt to wildfire helps keep this from turning into this. Your home is better protected from wildfire when your whole community is prepared. Visit fireadapted.org for tips to get started today. A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Are you tired of hearing talking heads at ESPN say the same thing every day?
Well, then tune in to FalconRadio.org on Sunday nights from 8 to 9 to listen to Extra Innings. Terry Lash and Kyle Howard debate a variety of sporting topics, ranging from around the globe to right here in Bowling Green.
They'll let you know what's really going on in the sporting world today. That's Extra Innings every Sunday night from 8 to 9 on FalconRadio.org.
BGRSO.org is your home to keep updated on the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization. View upcoming games and talk show schedules, staff profiles, and also links to listen to us live. Get a little closer to the team that brings you more games than any other student broadcasting organization in the country at www.bgrso.org.
This is Andy Alfred, the host of All Andy Alfred. You're listening to my show, All Andy Alfred, right here on FalconRadio.org, WFAL. I love you guys.
As of course, it is always a good time for All Andy Alfred because I love you guys, and welcome in to All Andy Alfred, a production of the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization right here on FalconRadio.org, WFAL. I am Andy Alfred, coming to you from the beautiful West Hall Studios on the campus of Bowling Green State University. As we're in the football segment, as of course, wasn't that a beautiful sight we saw on Sunday, if you're a Lions fan, with all that snow out on the ground? I blame the weather, honestly. It was a horrible running game. The snow was compact. There was a lot of snow on the ground. And the Eagles prevailed. They prevailed, and they got a big win, 34-20 over the Detroit Lions. As, the Lions had all those turnovers, 7 turnovers in the game, to say the least. And, it's just too much. It was just too much for the Lions to hold on to. And I think it'll be interesting to see what happens this upcoming Monday, as we have the Monday Night Football game taking on Baltimore. That game at 8:27. Of course, yours truly will be probably hanging out at B-Dubs, watching the game in Oregon, Ohio, getting ready for interesting Monday Night Football, to say the least. As of course, next week is finals week, to say the least, and it'll be fun. It will be a fun game to watch on Monday Night Football, and have some beer, wings, and enjoy Monday Night Football before we get into the heart of my exam schedule. But other than the Lions game, did the Browns get screwed on Sunday? Yes. Yes, they did. The officiating for that game, and I don't blame the officials. I don't blame the officials at all for this game. I really don't. I blame them for this game. 2 blown calls. 2 calls that did not need to be made, especially in the end zone. Really. Yes. I believe so. Because the Browns, it was not even a pass interference in the end zone, which then set up the touchdown, the go-ahead touchdown for the Patriots. And that hard hit, that high hit, it's bad penalties. It was bad penalties that killed the Browns on Sunday. The Browns were a loser 27-26 to the New England Patriots. And it just bothered me. It really did. That game really bothered me. Because the Browns got shafted in that game. They really did. Other notable games in the NFL for you guys. Of course, this week, the Chargers on the road to take on the Broncos. Broncos 11-2, 7-0 at home. Also, you have the Browns at home to take on the Chicago Football Bears. The Bears 7-6, 2-4 on the road. They had an impressive win on Monday night, I will admit that, to say the least. Other notable games, of course, the Patriots on the road to take on the Dolphins, the Giants hosting the Seahawks. Of course, like I said, Monday Night Football, the Ravens on the road, 7-6, 1-5 on the road, taking on the Lions, who are 7-6, 4-2 at home. Now, let's talk a little bit about let's step on from the carpet to the hard court. Basketball. Yes, college basketball first. Looking at some of the games from last night, of course, we had 3 big key games in the top 25. Of course, Kansas, 13th ranked, goes down to Florida, 67-61. Kentucky was a winner over Boise State, 70-55, and Gonzaga, a big win over West Virginia, 80-76. Other notable games, also you had Indiana beating up on Oakland University, 81-54, and Oakland now has to play Michigan State this upcoming week. And Michigan State lost last Wednesday when I left the air. They lost to North Carolina. And they lost their number 1 ranking. Number 1 is not number 1 anymore. But staying here in the local area, Bowling Green took on Xavier in Cincinnati. And, Holmes had a really good game. And the Falcons rallied and they tied the game up and they forced overtime. But they only scored 5 points in the overtime period. Xavier had 17 as Xavier won 85-73. Rashawn Holmes, 26 points, 9 rebounds, 1 steal, 5 blocks. Far for Xavier had 15 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist. I look at some of the notes. Holmes had 26. Clark had 13. Same with Anthony Henderson as well too. Cameron Black with 5 points. Coming off the bench, Craig Seeley with 7 points. So it'll be interesting to see what happens as the Falcons take on University of North Dakota tonight. I will be on the broadcast call for that one tonight, as with my broadcast partner Alan Mars. Tip-off is at 7, pregame at 6:30 right here on your home tonight for BGSU basketball. FalconRadio.org, WFAL, and that'll be an interesting matchup to see the least going forward for that one also. But like I said, Michigan State losing their number 1 ranking to against North Carolina, and now they have to play a Oakland team on Saturday. That's very good. North Carolina and Roy Williams' club was really, really good, as North Carolina won on Wednesday 79-65, defeating the number 1 team in the country, giving them their first loss, and now they're the 5th ranked team in the country. And it'll be interesting. Their schedule, like I said, coming up is Oakland and so much more. But let me talk about women's basketball. How about the impressive win for the women's team on Sunday as they played UW Milwaukee? Very, very good matchup as they won 87-64 to move 8-1 this season. And it was a non-conference bout. And Hoska had a career high for a second consecutive game. 4 teammates also hit double figures in the points column as the Falcons improved 8-1. The Panthers now dropped to 2-6 on the year. BG now getting ready for their big matchup as they'll take on Purdue this upcoming Sunday. You can listen to that game on our sister station, 88.1 FM, WBGU. Pregames at 11:30, then the tip at high noon in West Lafayette for that game in Purdue. In the NBA action for you guys last night, the Cavs took on the Knicks, and very good matchup. And Kyrie Irving last night showed why he is Mr. Cavalier. 109-94, Kyrie Irving, 37 points, 1 rebound, 11 assists, 1 steal. Carmelo Anthony had 29 points for 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Also looking at some of the other Cav players as well too. Tristan Thompson had 12 points. Alonzo G, 8 points as well too. But Kyrie stepping up to the plate and getting those points was really helpful for the Cavaliers this week. As you looked at the other matchup that they took on Saturday, as they took on the Clippers and beating the Clippers by 6, 88-82. And Tristan Thompson having a breakout game with 20 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. And the Cavs are starting to get together. The Pistons, however, are starting to fall apart a little bit, as they lost to the Timberwolves last night, 112-94. Kevin Love with 26 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists. Brandon Jennings for the Pistons led the Pistons with 20 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal. And you look at Cadius Caldwell-Pope had 16 points. Coming off the bench, Tony Mitchell had 4 points, as well as Jonas Yerkbo with 5 points as well too. But Andre Drummond at 8 points. It's a little bit he needs to step up a little bit more for the Pistons, to say the least. And as well, it'll be interesting what's happening on the hard court, but what's happening on the stove is a lot more. Trumbo heading to Arizona. That shocked me last night. When I heard Mark Trumbo heading to the Arizona Diamondbacks, that was a little bit of a shock for me. 3-team trade between the Angels and the White Sox and the Diamondbacks. Sends Mark Trumbo to the Diamondbacks. Adam Eaton to Chicago. Pitcher Hector Santiago and Taylor Skaggs to the LA Angels. And that'll be interesting as well too. The Diamondbacks have also offered a 1-year deal to Jabba Chamberlain for close to $3 million as well too. So the Diamondbacks going out and spending some money. They're going out and spending money. That's a big thing. That's a big thing for the Tigers. Looking at the Tigers, they're getting close to signing Rajai Davis. It'll be a 2-year contract, about $9 to $10 million. They're getting very close to that. Davis, who's 33, played last season, 3 seasons with the Toronto Blue Jays, has 125 stolen bases, and is the 8-year veteran, batting at a .260 with 45 steals in 108 games this past season. You would join Jackson, Hunter, and Dirks out in the outfield. He's batting at .256 with 9 home runs. Andy Dirks last season. Well, too. So Kinsler, it's been an interesting baseball season so far, off season so far. So, and during the winter break, when we do this show on the online version, and I hope you guys enjoy it, flip over to the online version of this show, which we've done for a long time. We'll have Nick DeVera, one of our MLB insiders, who was at the winter meetings. We'll have him discuss some things so much more. When we come back, it's time to hit the ice and talk about the Walleye, the Falcons, and the Jackets last night picking up a big victory over the Devils. And we'll also talk about so much more. So stay with us. You're listening to All Andy Alfred, a production of the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization right here on FalconRadio.org, WFAL. Hold on!
Hey BG, if you love NBA basketball and debates as much as I do, then join me, Taryn Blaine, and my lovely co-host, Ms. Jackie Elliott, every Saturday, 3 o'clock p.m. for the hottest NBA talk show in our Ohio, Fast Break, right here on FalconRadio.org, WFAL.
An all-new lineup of talk shows is coming your way this fall from the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization. Wake up with BGRSO Monday through Friday from 8 to 10 a.m., in addition to Saturdays from 2 to 5 p.m. and Sundays 3 to 9 p.m. Want to get your opinions and interest in sports on the air? Then visit bgrso.org on how to join us, or even visit our next meeting each and every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. in West Hall. It's Sports Talk Radio from BGRSO. BGRSO brings you Bowling Green Men's Basketball Wednesday, December 11th. The Falcons will return to the Stroh Center and play in front of a home crowd as they host North Dakota at 7 p.m. Pre-game coverage gets underway at 6:30 and the tip-off at 7 p.m. Bowling Green and North Dakota, December 11th on FalconRadio.org, WFAL.
This is WFAL Falcon Radio, broadcasting from the campus of Bowling Green State University in Bowling Green, Ohio. Falcon Radio can be heard on Time Warner Cable Channel 21 in Wood County and everywhere else on falconradio.org. Let's go to the students, y'all.
You're listening to BGRSO, home of BGSU volleyball on Falcon Radio, WFAL, Bowling Green, Ohio.